She like me, I kinda dig it, so I did my thing for her. She joining with me, now we getting groovy, hotter than jacuzzi. So shorty, won't you slow it down? See them other fellas, and they ain't hating. They try to do it like me, it ain't the same. Front to back, shorty, side to side, and lean with you with a soldier now. Cause you're so fly, girl. You should come to my crib, yeah. Gonna be perfect on you. You, I'm gonna keep them, but you should be mine. You should be my girl.
Hey, 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 it's your girl Nay coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it. Hey, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
How are you feeling?
I'm just great. I'm alive and healthy. I can't complain. I won't complain.
Okay.
You feel me?
I'm here for that. I'm definitely here for that. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thursday. It's been a long week.
It has been a very, very, very long week. But today was a beautiful day.
Was it?
It was a beautiful day, man.
That's good. I'm glad that you had a beautiful day.
The weather was nice. It was like, 70, 65 degrees most of the day.
Okay.
Sun was out. Wind was blowing.
I feel like I wasn't really able to enjoy the day today because I was so busy. Like Thursdays are always so involved for me. So it was like, all right, one thing to the next, work, all right. Try to go home, try to get like 2 seconds of a nap, and then I'm here to do this. But I really enjoy doing this. So although it's been a long day and a long week and a long month,
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready for today. So I am joined this Thursday with author Deriyun.
Deriyun McGee, author McGee.
Author.
This is me. I'm happy to be here. Am I coming to America voice? I'm happy to be here.
You're a mess. So I thought that this would be a great conversation to have with you, fellow author, fellow creator, fellow African American. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of different things.
Let's do it.
If I had to give today's conversation a title, I would call it A Seat at the Table. And we're definitely gonna jump right into a lot of stuff that comes along with your face, building your brand, making a name for yourself and all that great stuff there. But before we do all of that, I'm going to give you the opportunity to let us know what we're toasting to this evening.
All right. Okay. Well, I like to toast to the release of my new novel, Rewind.
Yes.
Also, I would like to toast to life, health, and strength.
All right. I've gotten on this new wave of sipping wine on my show. It makes me feel grown and sexy.
I like it. I feel sexier.
Also, I'm trying not to drink liquor so much.
Really?
Yes.
Liquor does make you age faster.
Does it?
I noticed that. I noticed that.
I've heard that.
That's true.
But for me, more so, it ain't that. Is because I've been like working on and stuff. And liquor is not good when you're trying to lose weight.
It's not.
No, it has a lot of sugar in it. Yeah. Yeah. So.
But liquor is good for certain things,
I like liquor now. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, listen, I don't want you liquor drinkers don't get mad at us. I'm just saying. We're just saying.
It's cutting back just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time through the week and stuff. All right. So as we go ahead and jump into this episode of As Told by Nay, I'm going to start with the excuse me, come again questions. 4 random questions. Okay. You did not get to prepare for this, but answer as honestly as possible.
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. How many good morning beautiful texts do you send out at one time? Because y'all think we don't know that we not the only one getting the good morning beautiful text, but we know. So how many you see at one time?
Just one at a time. Just one.
I feel like you playing it safe because
no, it's true. Just one at a time. I mean, if you send out multiple texts with the same message, can't everybody see it? See the different numbers and stuff?
Because you send it one at a time.
Yeah, see, I'm scared to get caught up, man. One at a time.
So you deal with one person at a time then. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm single. I've been single about 5 years right
now,
you know. But I have friends that are beautiful. And I feel like, I should remind them of that sometimes, So I'll say good morning, beautiful.
So your good morning, beautiful texts are to your friend. Man, you so full of it. I hear you though. I'm gonna leave you alone with that one, and I'll take it.
It's true.
Okay.
The thing is this. At my age, I'm 41, folks. Just so you guys know, I'm too old to, in my mind, to awaken a woman's love with no intentions on keeping.
You better talk about it.
So before I commit myself or, indulge in a committed relationship, I have to see that woman as someone that I could marry. So I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not going to even pretend like we're in a relationship. I'm going to keep it real.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Question number 2. When was the last time you cried? What was the reason and who saw?
Oh man. That's sensitive.
Is it?
Make me touch my soft side. Yeah. I cry quite often, to be honest with you. Tears of joy, tears of sadness. I've lost my mom, I lost my dad, I've lost my brother, I've lost my granddad. So I think about them quite often. Sometimes I might wake up in the morning and I can just feel one of the presence in the room with me.
Okay.
And I cry. Then I smile because it's selfish to wish that they're with me, and just they're with God. So I smile, like, learn to rejoice. So last time I cried.
So
thinking of my mother.
You cry alone then?
And yeah, I cried alone. Nobody heard me. Well, actually, I was not alone. I have a little mini pincher.
Oh my God.
My little puppy. His name Tick. Okay. He was right there with me, man. Okay. He had my back. Shout out to my little puppy Tick, man. I love you, dog.
So do you think that it is anything wrong with crying in front of people?
Well, it depends on who you're crying in front of, I don't want to be in the middle of a party or something and get turned down. I cry in front of somebody. Like, it's not funny, you can't just be out here crying, man. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a real man can cry. I mean, look at DMX. RIP to the dog, man. Dark Man X, man. I grew up on this guy, but I watched him cry a lot, and he wasn't afraid to, especially like when he win an award or when he's praying. Like he would cry. So like seeing a man that tough and that real at the same time, not afraid to cry, so I feel like a real man can cry. And don't be afraid to cry. Just don't cry in front of the wrong people.
Facts, because they will use it against you.
Yeah, you will get clowned. You will get picked at.
Not even that, because that don't even matter. But people kind of use that as fuel to make you feel weaker or less than, or there's this misconception that men are not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to show their emotion, and it's seen as a weak trait. I want to do away with that.
Yeah, do away with that. Cry, man.
Do away with that.
Don't be afraid to cry. Let it all out.
So question number 3, and you kind of spoke to this in saying you're single, been single for a while, but summer 2021 is coming.
Yeah.
What does that look like for your dating, love life situation? Are you going to be just in these streets this summer? Are you going to actually be intentionally trying to find a partner, or are you just chilling?
Actually, I'm glad you asked me that because it's going to be a hot boy summer. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I ain't mad at it.
But seriously though, I will be doing a little bit more because normally, I'm out the way because I'm really focused on my projects. Past experiences has taught me to put myself first. And I just feel like before I can even consider being somebody's man, husband, boyfriend, or whatever term you want to use, I need to make sure that I have my stuff together. I have all my eggs, everything lined up in the row. my stability, my comfort. When you love yourself, then you can love somebody else. When you're confident with what you're doing, when I feel confident, and I feel a lot better trying to, do for somebody else.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Summertime, I'm really in a good place. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's time to step out a little
Mix
bit.
and mingle a little bit. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's gonna be a great summer.
It's gonna be a great summer.
Everybody been kind of like locked down last summer. People are ready to be out and around people and making new situations and making memories. Hey, whatever your summer look like, I am here for it. Do whatever is gonna make you happy and whatever is going to make you smile.
Last summer, y'all was blowing up the DMs and the inboxes.
Now you got a time to put
it's time to step out.
Hey. All right. And then question number 4. How do you feel about being a stepfather? First of all, let me ask you, do you have any children?
No, I know the answer. I don't have any kids.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in situations where I could easily have 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
That I know about.
So, and this came up because I was having a conversation with a group of people, and they were saying that men more so try and stray away from women with children, whereas women are more open to the idea of men with children. I don't know if I believe that. So how do you feel about being a stepdad? Like, you don't have any kids, so any situation that you go into will be no kids and either her no kids or her with kids. Do you kind of stray away from women with children, or it doesn't bother you?
Well, it depends on how many children they have.
Okay.
I mean,
that's real.
If it's past like 4 and 5, I'm kind of like ducked off a little bit. Like, I don't know about that one. But everybody has a story. Some people have their kids from a guy and he did them wrong and asked and left them out there, and they're great women. And sometimes I feel, in my experience in dating, some of the more humble, more understanding type of females are those that have been through more, and they tend to have children. And I'm okay with that, to answer your question. I don't mind being a stepfather, especially at my age. I don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I want 1 or 2, but I need to be married first. That's just my focus. So I made it this far, might as well. However, I will date a woman with children. As long as the children not bad, they're not disrespectful, I can do it. I feel like I'm a good role model, and I love children, so I could definitely date a woman with children.
Very good. Ain't nothing wrong with being a stepdad. Sometimes they're needed.
Hey, listen, I'll be a stepdad. You feel me? Listen, it's like this.
Sometimes they're needed.
Let's be real, man. I'll be honest with you. I feel like if I date a woman with children, her kids are mine.
Right.
I'll treat them like they're my children. They are my children. And
I'm a firm believer that kids need all the love they can get.
That's real.
Whether that is from their biological parents, step-parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, teachers, coaches, all of that stuff. Like, anybody that's willing to pour into a kid that is theirs or isn't theirs, like, that is very important.
Speaking of coaches, shout out to all my coaches from sports, man, because I still think about y'all. I still remember y'all. Mm-hmm. Y'all helped me become a man, even though I wasn't a great all-star in high school. You know what I'm saying? I stopped playing, but from like 12 years old, 13, 14 years old, 15, 16, and that was it. I still remember my coaches.
Very good.
I love y'all, man.
Coaches make the world go round.
Dakota.
Oh, the football team.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Coaches make the world go round. All right, and that is the excuse me come again. Not too bad, right?
Nah,
lightweight.
I enjoyed that. I like
a little icebreaker,
man. Listen, I'm ready.
All right, so boom, you ready? Let's get right into the conversation.
Let's do it.
Seat at the table. So tonight we are talking about. This is dedicated to my creators. These are dedicated to the authors, the actors and actresses, the musicians, all those things, sports players that want to go, pro, things like that. When it comes to branding yourself and being the face of who you are, promoting your personality, I guess, how do you feel about the whole idea behind being a creator? Like, what made you want to create? What made you want to share your life with other people? Because a lot of times that creative space stems from real life. So that means you're opening that door up to strangers and sharing that. What made you want to do that? What made you comfortable doing that? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. So my story is different. All right. I don't know if you're ready for this, but you asked me.
Let's
All
go.
right, so I'm gonna open it up for you.
Let's go.
I have a spiritual background with my family. I grew up in a household where my grandparents, my mom, they see spirits, like seriously, like really could see spirits, stuff like that. So when I talk to people, I always realized that people didn't see what I saw growing up. They haven't experienced what I experienced, things that became normal parts of life. And I've always dreamed and believed that I was going to be somebody important as a child. I just never knew how it was going to happen. So, as far as my creativity, I started writing like poems to like females and like middle school, and then my brother and I, we would, and rest in peace to my brother Maurice, man, I love you, bro. We would like play with our GI Joes and our toys and our action figures, and we would make movies. My brother would say, "Hey, you want to make a movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he would have the whole plot already going on, and we'll have toys everywhere. We'll have a fight going on here and there. We'll stage it all out. And as I got older, I always remembered that. So just from childhood and having great imagination and creating situations with our toys, coming into an adult, I still held on to that part of me. And then I began rapping, like in 10th grade, some friends of mine got in the studio and started writing and rapping and stuff. So, and I really enjoyed it. And one of my brothers would pick at me like, "Hey, we're doing this for fun. You want to make a career out of it?" So I never forgot that. And I got into college or MCC, and I took film class, and it was amazing. Lisa Rosenthal, she was a executive producer for The Prince of Bel-Air for 2 seasons, and she was my teacher.
Okay.
And she would always compare me to Will Smith, and she would always encourage me, "You need to stay in the film, get in the movies, stay in the film." And I never forgot that. And we made our first short film, and it was awesome. Shout out to my boy Dunk, Mad Entertainment. Feel me? He would put my short film on all the bootleg DVDs. So like everybody in the hood saw our movie. I acted in it, I wrote it, my music was scored in it, and all us came together behind the scenes and we made this thing happen.
Okay.
So that was like 2003, 2004. I did music for a while, and then I was in the movie for a minute. But I figured, I want to write a book. And every time I start, I just never finish. So I almost lost my job.
Sound like me.
Yeah, I was about to lose a job one day, and I was like, "Man, I gotta figure something out because this job not working, everything, the world crumbling. I need to figure out what I can do." And so I took a week off, and I sat in my apartment for an entire week, just like really digging deep in myself. Like, what do I have? Like, I don't want to rap no more. I'm too old for that. Like, I'm not even trying to get into that industry. What do I have? And so I just started focusing on the things that I was good at, creativity as far as like writing, rhyming, telling stories. So I said, I'm gonna write a book. I write a children's book. I did some research on the top selling children's books, and there was books that rhyme, books with illustrations and nice stories, like good stories. So I put them all in one book, and then it just took off from there. And then the urge of me wanting to share my story, I just got more confidence as I produced more kids' books to a point where I produced my my first adult book, How to Deal with Death and Missing Your Loved Ones. So that's pretty much where it all stemmed from.
Cool. Nice.
Appreciate you.
Nice. You sound like me though. I think when you get to that creative space, like I sat on my book for years. I started writing it, lost interest, lost the motivation, picked it up a little bit and put it back down. And once I finished it, it just kind of sat there for a minute. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I think I'm kind of scared to release it. I don't know if people are gonna appreciate it. And, you know, I always laugh when people talk about that Erykah Badu part when she's like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. But that's real, you know? To me, I thought my book was amazing. But what if nobody else thinks it's amazing? That would be hurtful. But you just kind of got to go out on the limb and be like, hey. But that leads me right into the next piece of this conversation, because once you did make the decision that, okay, I'm going to brand myself. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to do my author thing, and I'm going to get my hands into different situations. Was your mindset, I want to make a name for myself, or I want to be famous? Like, what was the big picture that you saw? Because there is a difference.
It is different. I definitely just wanted, like, my first book actually was a children's Christian book.
Okay.
And I just wanted to do something for God, and at the same time hoping that it would make me, you know, in a situation where I can make some money and still be able to sustain myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not worried about being wealthy or famous, because I wanted to be famous and wealthy when I called myself trying to rap and do music.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I learned about the industry, and I realized that wasn't for me.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, you know, we're not going to get into all that, selling your soul and all that. I don't want no part of it, you know. And yeah, I just really wanted to just help. It's more about the mission and about building a legacy. And I was really thinking more about my life after Earth. Like, you know, if I do something for God, I'll be more prosperous, because with my music career and things of that nature, I did it for the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And I got close. I was on Fox News, situation with Timberland I won't talk about right now. You know, I had some situations come up,
Mm-hmm.
but I never sealed the deal. So, and I didn't put God first either. But this time I put God first on my first project. And so it was just more about doing something for the kingdom, you know, not trying to sit here and preaching anything, but that's really the truth.
Mm-hmm. I can dig it. I can dig it. So as I was kind of like looking into the differences between being famous versus building a name for yourself, because I had to have that conversation with myself as well as I started this journey with my podcast, as well as doing my book and all the other things that I have going on in my life right now. Fame fades is what I found.
That's true.
But when you make a name for yourself,
that's true.
That's your legacy.
That's your legacy.
That's your legacy. It's going to be here, like you said, when you're dead and gone. So a lot of people in our generation, I feel, aspire to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes right into us talking a little bit about the whole social media thing and this big, everybody want to go viral these days. But that viral moment lasts a moment. What are you doing with that? Where are you trying to go after that? What was the purpose, you know? And so I think that that's something that people really need to stop and think about when it's that famous thing, that fame, that money, that instant gratification versus I'm actually like building a name for myself and putting pieces in place to bring my friends along. I'm, you know, setting my family up for the long run.
Mm-hmm.
For you, and I know you just said, you know, it's more so about that longevity. When you think about, just because I know just you got your hand in a lot of different things right now.
Mm-hmm.
You being the face of Deriyun, like if fame did come, would you be willing to, okay, I can step in the limelight? Or do you think you would shy away from it just because your mindset is not there?
I think with the things that we do, that comes with it. It's just that some people will do anything for fame, if that make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then me personally, I feel like making a name for myself is just more important.
Right.
Because with my name comes standards, comes a code, you know, a code of conduct. It comes with my actions, you know, my true self, who I am, versus doing something to become famous. Some people get on YouTube and do stupid pranks just to be famous,
right,
or just do something stupid and go to jail just so they can get that minute of fame.
To get, yep.
You know, me personally, I'm just like more focused on this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is Deriyun McGee. This is him. This is his legacy. So I make a name for myself. I'm me. and there's nobody else like that. So that's really, I like that question.
So I want to pose a question to my listeners and any creators that I have that are tuned in right now. What is your idea behind your craft? Are you looking to be famous? Do you want people to know your name? Do you want all the money? Do you want, the exclusive parties and being on TV and all of that stuff? Or are you creating a name for yourself based off of your craft? Are you really wanting to share a piece of you with your audience? Because I think that that's a big piece of it too. People who aspire for fame, they really don't want to share a piece of them. Those are the people that are constantly in the media arguing with fans or not wanting to talk, do interviews, really let people see who they are, because once it's past what they're known for, there's not much substance there. And that's what I have been finding, or that they're not really who they portray to be through their fame.
I feel like if your work is good, or if you sometimes you have a good work but it's not marketed correctly, but if you do everything right and you have good work at the same time, the fame will come.
Right.
And of course, there's a price that comes with fame, right?
How do you feel about social media in general? Like, do you use it for networking? Do you use it for marketing purposes? Yeah. Do you use it for personal use? Like, what's your take on the whole social media thing?
I think social media is great and it's bad all at the same time in one glass stirred together. I'm from the old school where we had to actually send CDs and demos off in the mail and actually drive to locations to speak to people, and we had to stand out and market and pass out flyers and all. That's the era that I'm from. But now you can just do all that to hundreds of thousands of people at a click of a button.
Right.
I mean, I think it's great. You feel me? But when you have that, it's a power. When you have that power and you have the power of influence and you have all these followers and all these people, it's easy to just put your emotions out there at that moment in time and how you feeling. You feel me? And me personally, because I can't speak on everybody else, I like to speak on my personal experience. I went through a transition and I'm still kind of going through a little bit. You feel me? Whereas I had to realize and remember, like, okay, you have a personal page that I've had for like 10 years. And these people have watched me develop into an author. You watch me go through my phases of, I'm rapping, I'm working, I lost my family. Like, hey, I'm gonna write a book. And now I'm like doing shows, or I'm out promoting, doing book signings. And, they watch my image change. And at the same time, I'm so used to like, hey, I'm from Soda, I'm from Newtown. But I have to learn how to separate the two, and I have to create other pages. And then I say, you know what? I have to just be myself, but at the same time, remember that I have an audience now. I have influence now. So sometimes I even go behind myself and say, why did I say that? And delete it. Like, I have to like patrol myself now.
Right.
You have to have discipline, especially when you're branding yourself. You want to be you, because I feel like the people that rock with me, they rock with me.
Right.
I would rather have 10, 20, 30 people that I know rock with me for who I am, the good and the bad, and respect my creativity at the same time, versus me having a bunch of paid followers, have 1 million people who don't care nothing about me, or will laugh at me if something happened to me, if I was hurt or expressed myself. They don't know me, don't care about me, So that's my take on it. I love social media because of the power of networking, marketing, checking on people without me having to pull up. But at the same time, it's like it could turn you into a modern day zombie where you're just on there for hours watching what everybody else doing.
Right.
And people lose themselves because they see what everybody else got. So it's like,
facts.
So you got to really have that discipline upstairs. You feel me? So,
as a creator, I feel like social media is definitely our domain, right? Because exactly what you said, you have the ability to reach millions with just the click of a button. I don't even have to get out of my bed, and I can get a message out to the masses. I can take a picture last week, think about it. It relates to something going on right now. I can post it with a great caption, and boom, now I've gotten, that interest rolling. I feel like with the networking piece, you can find people from all over the place that are doing exactly what you're doing. You can bounce ideas, you can get good feedback. All of these great things come along with social media, right? I feel like as a creator, the main piece of our market is who we are, our personality, right?
Facts.
I know once I get famous, because that I'm going to. It's just like what I do and how I present, it's gonna happen. I will be a household name, but behind that will be my legacy for sure. Because my drive is making a name for myself, right? But when that time comes, I know I'm gonna have to have a publicist, because where you say you have to like moderate yourself and kind of like look at what you're doing. I don't think about that. Sometimes, and I think because my audience varies, I haven't learned how to care, if someone perceives something that I say or do as inappropriate or wrong. I haven't gotten to that place yet. More so for me, I'm doing it, and it make me feel good, so I'm gonna do it. Or it make me laugh, so I'm gonna do it. And I've been talking with some other creators, and I realized that my issue is exactly what you just said. The people who follow along your journey, not all of them know you for real, so they don't care one way or the other what the true situation is. They're just there to see if you up, then they up, and if you down, they pointing and laughing. Where it's like I can say something crazy on social media, and the people that actually know me in real life be like, "Oh, she's joking," because they know my situation. Whereas a stranger would be like,
they're judging you or something.
They're judging, or oh, that's how she feel, or oh, is that her situation, or and they start to. That's how that rumor mill gets going, and I'm gonna have to be. That's something that I'm gonna have to be very careful with as I start to build this name and I start to bring. And it's okay for me to say that.
It's okay.
It's something. It's a learning experience.
Exactly, and I feel like when you realize that yourself, the self-realization, that's when it sticks. That's when it hits you harder, when you can say it to yourself,
right?
Versus somebody else coming to you criticizing you, or just, you need to do this. So you listen, you hear it if you can take criticism, but it just sticks when you realize it and you can say it to yourself. And it means more. At least to me, it does.
Right.
It means more when I'm like, okay, I need to do this, versus somebody telling me so.
Right. Somebody said,
shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's real. That's maturity.
Someone said it's all about getting better at the process and how it helps you become a better version of yourself, how that can inspire other people. And I think for me, that is exactly what I do with my brand. Nay, the brand is all about making people feel comfortable being themselves.
And how can you be the best version of yourself? That's the thing. That's where the discipline comes from, because you want to be the best version of your brand, of who you are. Be who you are. Right. Can you be the best version of who you are? And like that person said, that's a process. Who said that?
Dwayne Barksdale.
Dwayne Barksdale. Salute. That was an awesome comment, sir.
Right. With that though, I want to go right into the conversation of we'll fix it. Being true to your authentic self and not wanting acceptance or to fit the mold, but just actually staying true to your vision. Like I feel like every creator goes into their situation or creative space with an idea, at least, of what they want. What am I trying to do with this? Whether it is I want to make people laugh, whether it is I want to inspire people, whether it is I just want to share this music that I came up with, or share this story that I came up with. We all have an idea of what we want it to do. As you start to move into that space of whether I want public recognition, fame, all of that stuff, or just to kind of build your brand, you have to start making decisions. I have watched some of my favorite artists be underground, killing it, get famous, and it's like, what is this? I don't like their music anymore because it's not who they were when they started. Now, there's a big difference between growth and boom, perfect, becoming commercialized.
Right.
Big difference, because you can see someone grow through their craft for sure, where maybe before it was immature or not this or not that, and you see them grow. Then you see where they have been, their image has been completely flipped to fit what sells or what people think is more popular. And that's not really them.
Right.
I think we see that a lot with well, I can't speak for everybody. I see a lot with African Americans coming out, being who they are or wanting to be who they are, getting into these contracts and completely being re everything to fit what they see, because they got the money behind it.
Yeah.
I think that's very sad.
Or they have controllers, they have handlers, people that tell them how they should look, how they want them to look. There's guys behind the scenes that you never heard of. They're the most powerful. Have you seen that video? And no, and it's not a shot taken, but have you seen that video with Meek Mill on the tennis court and the guy's making a bunny hop?
No.
Check that out. There's a guy with the camera talking reckless to him. You suck. Those bunny hops suck. Do it better. And he's hopping around.
Wow.
So me, with the way I think, I'm like, who is that guy that can say that to this man, and talk to him like that? And he's actually doing it because he lost a tennis match or something. You get what I'm saying? So there's people behind the scenes that will take your creative ability away from you.
Right.
And as far as like image, a prime example. I had a lot of hair. I had dreads when I was younger.
Perfect example.
I cut them off, right? I cut my dreads off, right? Long story short, I'm always in management when I have a nice, low, clean cut. You feel me? I have guys that ask me when I had my locks, will you cut your locks? I'm like, I couldn't find a job. I was going through a stage. So when I cut them, I got a job like that. Fast forward 10 years later, I decided to grow them back. I'm like, I'm going to stay focused on working for myself, being an independent artist, being an independent creator. And then on my Facebook page, I put a picture up of my startup locks on there. And I have females saying, we like the low cut wavy. I'm like, okay, I didn't do this for you.
Right.
I did this for me. So you got to be true to yourself and true to your image. You can't do something. You can't look a certain way because that's what everybody like. But take notes from it. Look at what everybody like. Draw the positive from it. What can you use from that to make yourself the better version of you? That's how I look at it.
Perfect. So perfect lead in as well, because you kind of spoke to, it's not about you, it's about me and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to portray and the message that I'm trying to give out. And for the person that I'm trying to reach, this is going to resonate. This is going, for you, what does that target audience look like? Do you have a specified audience that you reach for just in totality? Are you just hoping to rock with whoever rock with you? Are you, what is your target audience and how do you go about, reaching that particular audience?
It's funny you ask me that because I consider myself a diverse person. Some folks might use the word difficult. I don't know. But I'm a little bit of everything. I bought you a gift and I'll use this gift as an example.
Oh, great.
This is one of my children's books.
Okay. Don't be a bully.
You feel me? This is me when I'm clean. Anyway, this is yours, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. And
you're gonna have to sign this before you leave.
Gotcha. But I have a novel out, 20,000 words, not a lot, but it really gets into conspiracy theories and esokinesis, which is a reality manipulation. And so with that being said, I'm also revolutionary. I believe in, the Black Panther. I rock with the revolution, the empowerment of people. I believe that we have to stand up. But at the same time, I have children's books, I have positive motivational books, but I also believe in owning a weapon. You understand? I believe in self-defense. So how do I take all of this and make it all gel together?
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? I become me and I create an image for that type of situation. So my target audience would be those that are intellectual, but real.
Okay.
People that my target audience are people that understand the struggle, understand the fight, good versus evil, physically and internally, that can accept a person when they make mistakes, but do their best to right them. But at the same time, could put out situations that's negative, but it's telling their story of what they've seen, what they've been through. So my target audience is a versatile group of thinkers that looks any type of way. You know,
somebody said, I'm fighting this now. My life has changed drastically since I grew my locks. And that's what we see most with you guys, for sure. With the locks. It's seen as, I don't know why it's seen as unprofessional. I don't know why it's seen as not clean. Like people are like, oh, that's not clean cut. Why not?
I think it depends on it depends on the area. Just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, it's the same thing. Because when I went to New York and I was up there with Bloodline Records, shout out to Chico Big Loose, that's DMS record label. That's back in the days. I saw brothers in professional settings with locks, but they were nice and clean. This was like years ago, but down south, you know, it's hard. It was hard to come up like that when you had the locks, you know. So I went to Atlanta. I seen a lot of brothers looking like that, driving expensive cars and just businessmen. I'm just like, man. So it's really about where you at. You feel me? Because some places they just haven't, you know, they still slow.
Right.
You know, they're still living back in the days. But I think now times are changing, but people you gotta respect that person and how they look. If they're well kept, if they're professional, then why judge them on their hair?
Right. So one thing that I definitely want to get into as we near 9 o'clock here is everybody remembers the big speech that Tyler Perry gave about not begging for a seat at the table, but creating your own. And so I kind of want to speak to the support that people get, us building avenues for ourselves, not begging for that seat at the table, but exactly what he said, making your own and inviting your people to sit at it with you. What is it going to take? I was having this dialogue with a group of creators from the area, and we're talking about, and this can be for anybody, when you're trying to do something, and something about trying to come up in your city that seems like crabs in a bucket, where people don't want to see you succeed, where you would think that they would be the ones rooting for you the most. I realized when I first took this venture out with doing my podcast, as well as my first book that I got published, my biggest support came from people that I didn't know, outside of my family. Shout out to my family because, of course, and that's just the family that I come from, very supportive. But when I was looking to certain associates and colleagues and peers that have known me all my life, kind of bounced these ideas off of and was like in this moment with, when it really came time to show and prove, they weren't there. And it was like, dang, I really felt by myself. And, you know, I met you as a stranger. And the push was there, the encouragement was there. And it's just kind of like another confirmation that your support really comes from people that don't know you, and they can see something in you or see a vision, help you to pull it out, help to kind of guide you. When it comes to you, because I know you have this big vision for what you got going on, where you do want to kind of rally the folks together, bring people with you, put people in position. What does your support look like? How does that work for you? Like, where are you at as far as having an understanding of that team building?
All right. Before I answer that, I just want to say, when I first met you, like I saw greatness. Like I saw a really big personality. You know what I'm saying? That was just really cool. So I saw a vision where like she could really be big, you know. So anyway, just to answer your question though, it's true. That's the first thing I thought when I saw you. Just to answer your question though, it's funny because when I was doing my music, I had support, but I also had a lot of haters at the same time. Or, you know, a few of my friends actually like wrote diss songs about me.
Oh,
and
wow.
even though I'm 40 years old, it still hurt my feelings when I think about it.
Mhm.
Because like, man, I loved y'all. That was my brothers, man. Like, you know, I should have like, well, I couldn't. I still hurt from that. You understand what I'm saying? And but then I had my guys that like my boy Jay Lee, Print Fanatic, shout out to my guy Big Lee, had my back like every show, everywhere I went. My boy's right there. I'm on Fox News, he's right there. And you got those people that's gonna be there. Then you got those people that's gonna really hate, like you said. And eventually the bigger you become, you win them over because they will want to join you or see how
Right.
they can come up with you or off you. You know, but you're right. Got a lot of support outside the city. However, now getting back to the present, I have a huge amount of support from my hometown right now with my books,
That's
and
what's
it
up.
really surprised me because I shout out to Rachel Spate Hudson, my first pop-up shop or vendor event. I went to hers, and I had a lot of support. I mean, I sold like 40, 50 books, at $20 each. So it was a nice little day in like 3 or 4 hours, like 4 hours. So that was like, dang, I was shocked. I didn't expect my community to show me that much love. And so
Because unfortunately, it don't happen like that a lot of times.
I think what it is the fact that they don't see me often. I'm the type of guy that you only see on social media. You rarely see me out anywhere. And I think that when you're like out of sight like that, I'm just, from my personal experience, I noticed that change though, and of course you get the love from out of town, but I feel you can still win your folks over because at the end of the day, if you can't make noise in your city, then that means you just gotta work harder. However, you can leave and blow up. You feel me? But something about you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but something about you deep down inside really want that love from your hometown.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you want to step off. Like it's like you going off to college, but you need that approval before you go. Like, good, y'all got me. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, and that kind of comes back to the idea that when you do start, and the people that you expect to be in your corner aren't, but when you start to build that name for yourself,
right,
and you start to make waves, and you start to get this, now here they come. Now they believe, now they support because other people believe or other people support. And that's what I'm finding now. Like within the last year and a half, my following and support has grown exponentially. Shut up. But it was only because other people was pouring into me or other people was supporting me and promoting me and doing this and doing that. And because they saw other people doing it, that's where the love came from. And I'm not even mad at that. I'm honestly not. But when it comes to, like I said, building this table for ourselves and inviting others to come, that support is a big part of it. But also, how do we get to a place where we don't feel the need to compete? That's where I was going with that.
I'll tell you, like, I was just thinking when you said that, I think another reason why I have a lot more support now is because I'm a lot more humble. I'll be honest with you, I was cocky. I was a little cocky something, and I was competitive. I still am, but I was competitive in a more negative way. I would put somebody down before I gave them a shout out. And sometimes we think that people don't support us, but sometimes we don't realize that there's a few things about us that's keeping these people from supporting us to the point that we were looking for the support that we're looking for. Maybe it's a few things that we need to check within ourselves. And as I got older and I left the city, I was able to look in the mirror and I saw myself and I was like, dang, and I humbled myself. So now I have a much more humble approach. And I didn't work well with others as well back then, so now I really work with people now. And that has really No, I got a lot more support now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm even working with a bunch of people that are professionals that have different professions or different creative insights, and we're just making this Super Friends network. And so far, it's like 14 of us, and I look forward to grow even more. And everybody's excited to work together. We just got to get together now in the physical or on the Zoom meeting. That's the next step. And I think that sometimes you have to just, like you said earlier, take that seat at the table, but make people feel a part of it.
Right.
You have to be a thinker and outthink your situation. If we're not getting that support, and why, and how can I get it? How and why are two very, very important words to me.
I think the main piece of this whole convo is promoting of community and unity. I think a lot of times, like I'm an author, you're an author.
Mm-hmm.
Why we can't both be authors and eat?
Exactly.
We could sit at the table together and eat good with you doing the same thing that I do. I do a podcast. I could sit at the table with another podcast and eat good. You know, I'm trying to break into my little acting thing. I could sit at a table with other actors and actresses and eat good without it being a competition. I shouldn't have to feel threatened by the fact that you do something that I do.
Yeah, why not?
We can all help each other.
Exactly.
That's the whole idea behind it.
Exactly.
Creating our own table, creating our own creative space, being able to invite people to sit at the table.
Exactly.
And not begging to sit at other people's table. Go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. Something that I learned in adulthood, and it was really hard pill to swallow. But once I got the understanding of what that really means, it was life changing.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely life changing.
Having that attitude where, like, yeah, I'm the author, you're an author, but I'm a veteran. You know, we got to get rid of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough room for all of us. How can we bring each other up?
Right.
Think about it. I mean, how many people in the nation, in the world, in the city? Is this a lane that's not saturated, not overly saturated?
I think 2020 really opened the floodgate for creators. So like that was the prime time for us to really get out there and make some things happen. And if you missed that wave, my advice to you would be to get surrounded with other people that jumped on that wave and are making waves and get a part of that so that you can move into that space and really get, because now is the time.
That's true.
Now is the time.
I think all creators, we should really get together. I've had this thing I've been working on behind the scenes. I don't mind saying it out now. Southern Renaissance. You know, let's have a Southern Renaissance tour. Us creators all get together with our books or whatever our expertise that we have, you know, turned into a company or a business, and let's get together and go around and promote this. It's a Southern Renaissance, you know. Creators are enlightening, Renaissance, idea. You know, let's do it, you know.
I like that.
Bring them out the dark ages.
Last piece I want to talk about before I give you a chance to brag on yourself and let the people know where they can find you, where they can get all your stuff, is the importance of chasing your dream and representation. I remember growing up and wanting to do many different things and feeling like I couldn't because I didn't see people that looked like me doing it, thinking that it wasn't possible, or being told that I wouldn't do well like that because people that looked like me didn't do that particular thing. And so it became the fuel for me to really go hard for what I wanted and be able to say, you're wrong. There's not a lot of people that look like me doing this, but watch me do it anyway. For you, how important is that representation? How important is it for you to continue to chase your dreams even when people do doubt?
It's funny you say that because I've gotten a lot of feedback from parents as far as their children in my books and a Black author. I mean, that's something that I can't really remember seeing growing up. And it's important that I actually, you know, try to sign the books. So for people to see someone that looks like them and it inspires them, and I can say that I'm a part of that, man, that's huge.
Feels good.
You know, I feel like that's a legacy. Like I have a part of someone's life. You know, so just that's a really good question because it's funny you asked me that because I was just talking to a few people about that. As a matter of fact, a school teacher, a few schools have bought my books, and just the fact that I'm a Black author and their children can relate to me, like he looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about that.
Right.
I mean, of course, it's like, yeah, I want to be important, but to be able to have, I don't want to use the word role model, but to have someone that does something that you admire and they look like you, that's empowering, which is part of the reason why I feel when you look at his story, a lot of the people that look like us are painted white.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the noses are shot off statues in Egypt because you can tell they're Black people. There's proof and evidence that Yahshua Jesus, if you believe in Christianity, had skin like polished bronze, which to me that's Black. But when you see all the pictures, he's white. So why do that? Because it's really important to take identity away from self.
Right.
So when you can see these things and realize that you're a part of something great, that just makes you a greater person inside. Makes you grow up to want to be great. So I feel like it's psychological. That's very important.
And I want to take the moment right now, in speaking about that, to shout out Monique. Because when I was a kid, it wasn't cool to be chubby. I've always been chubby. And when I was little, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the face. I wanted to be the brand. I wanted to dance. I wanted to sing. I wanted to be on TV. And people would be like, well, you cute, but thin is in. Fluffy women are not attractive. Fluffy women are not, and then when I got to high school, that's when it became in to be thick. Oh, now y'all want to be, okay. But I'm glad that in middle school, in elementary school, I was able to see Monique was like, okay, I'm an actress. I'm a comedian. I'm out here making this money. I'm doing great things. And I'm proud to be fluffy. And for me, I needed to see that. Mm-hmm. So as I got older, that has been my like to just fully be proud of everything that is me and not to feel less than, and promote that to other little girls that look like me. To inspire them not to be afraid or ashamed to step out and do different things or be in front of the camera. You can do that too. And I think that's representation is everything.
It is everything.
It's everything. Yeah. And like you said, when you see other people that look like you doing great things, it makes you feel like I can do great things too.
I can do it too. You feel me? And just for the record,
somebody said she got to be at least 2 something in order for me to do something. I am sick of y'all.
Hey, hey, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Even as a kid, I never was into the, even as a child, I was looking for that. Even my teachers, man, I was always looking like, my teacher's big.
Oh my God.
I'm glad the world finally catching up.
Right. Get with it, people. Get with it. So great. I definitely want to then open the floor for you to let people know all that you've got for them, where they can find you, where they can find your books, where they can reach out to you if they need to, just anything you need them to know about the brand, author Deriyun McGee.
Okay.
Let them know.
Well, I do have 5 published books right now. All my books are available on Amazon or anywhere books are sold. If you just go to Amazon, search, type in DERIYUN, last name McGee, MCGEE. All my books will show up. If you type my first and last name in anywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I come up immediately.
Okay.
On Instagram, I'm Deriyun _published_author. And my website is authormcgee.com. Direct link to my Amazon link and all my books available.
Nice.
So right now, the main focus right now is my last project, Rewind. A very important situation. Started off as a movie script, COVID hit, turned to a novel, and now we're all about the movie. So I'm really excited, looking forward to getting ready to start filming that in the next few months.
I'm excited too. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, look for that. Shout out to my man. Hey, this my guy, man. My boy Quez XL. Find him on Facebook, Quez XL. It's a Dead Stock. This is my
Dead Stock.
This is my guy's his brand. I would turn around. It's too much.
Right.
But listen, it's really comfortable. And he shot this out. He gave me this. Well, I purchased it, but he gave me a discount.
Right.
So
Support your people.
So yeah, I had to support my people. I was like, nah, I'm not buying that, man. Give it to me. But he wanted me to discount, no discount here. Take the whole amount. You feel me? And I'm gonna wear your shirt tonight. It's very comfortable.
Right.
Quiz XL, Dead Stock, man. Hold on. Matter of fact, I asked him to send me his IG so I can give him a shout out. I'll put my phone off right now. Quiz XL. Find him on Facebook, man. Dead Stock. You feel me? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where you guys can find me at. AuthorMcGee.com, Amazon, Deriyun McGee, 5 books, Johnny and the Light, which is a children's book, Christian book, teaching kids to pray and call on the Son of God when they're afraid of the dark and the monsters in the dark. Believe in you and others will too. Children's motivational book, Don't Be a Bully. I have a book,
Definitely gonna get into this.
Yep, short book called How to Deal with Death and Missing Your Loved Ones.
Loved it.
Really?
Loved it. You said you got 5 books. I got 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5. I'm sorry. But that one about death I'm really weird about death.
Okay.
And it's crazy because I read it maybe last month and then my uncle passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I reread it.
Yeah.
And I found comfort in that. I'm real funny about death. And that is not at all what I thought it was going to be reading your book. It is death. Y'all get into my boy Deriyun.
I appreciate that.
I'll get into him.
I'm glad that I can help out. It's a very sensitive situation. So I just share a lot of my insight and what I went through and how I deal with the situations versus going through the standard griefs. And I just wanted to give somebody a different look, a different view into that. So appreciate that.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, that's our time. It is 9:00.
Hey, he hit me back. Dead Stock, the brand. Look it up. All right. I'm done.
All right. It's been another conversation here on As Told by Nay, the podcast. Creators, get with other creators. Don't be afraid to expand. Don't feel intimidated by people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Be the representation that you want to see. Put yourself out there, but be careful. As Deriyun said, people are looking for your downfall sometimes. They don't want to see you be up. They're waiting for you to fall. So don't give them too much fuel. And be true to yourself. Don't let the market and all these other people that are going to try and push money at you and push, this image at you change who you are when you know what your vision is. Stay true to that and make it do what you need it to do for you. Take advantage of this time. This is our time. This is our domain. Hit me up. If you're a creator, I want to hear from you. Hit me up. Let me know what it is that you do. Let me know how I can help you, how I can help push forward your vision. And let's do this thing together. We're gonna make our own table, guys. We don't need to beg for a seat. We got it. So
we got that.
That's that. Thank you again, Deriyun, for coming through and speaking to this with me.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you guys next week. Oh, no, I won't. I'm going out of town next week. Good day. I'll see y'all next month, Thursday, 8 p.m. for another conversation on As Told by Nay, the podcast. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That is